Beautiful afternoon to everyone out there. You're welcome to your favorite social media program, The Buzz. I am Rose Blossom Roy, and of course, today we're talking about what's trending, what's buzzing on social media. Not doing this alone as usual. I have my co-host with me, Patricia. Patricia, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Rose. Thank God it's Monday.
Lord.
It's not just thank God it's Friday, it's Monday. And it's good to start with, our guests are looking so handsome.
Yeah, very, very
so it's
handsome.
good to start Monday and start the week with.
And I'm super excited because mountains were moved, oceans, kept, bringing it its waves, because we have one of our favorite Zoom guests in the studio today. And of course, yes, because it's a great concern for him, so he had to be in the studio with us today. So I'm going to start by introducing him first, and that is Comrade Ola. Comrade Ola, it's good to have you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Lagos. Good afternoon, Nigeria. My name is Comrade Ola Jr. I'm the State Coordinator, Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership CAFOR in Ogun State. Mm-hmm. It's my great pleasure to be in the studio with these great men.
Mm-hmm. And the men have been expecting you. Well, according to Chief Govt, he said probably I consulted the highest deity to have Comrade come to the studio. Well, it's a pleasure to have him. And of course, yes, I just already mentioned his name. We have Chief Govt of course in the house. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Blossom. It sounds a bit down today. I wouldn't know your usual boisterous way of getting the show started and the rest of it. But it looks like
maybe anyway, if you take me out, I'll get better.
Oh, that will be tomorrow. So you will be on the show. You will be lively on the show that I will not be featuring. That is nice. If you want me to take you out, that's not a problem at all. I'm equal to the task. It's nice to be here. I am happy to be back. It's been an hiatus a little bit because of my program. I've rested. I feel a renewed vigor, and I'm ready to go.
Ready to go.
And thank God it's Monday.
Please keep your thank God it's Monday to yourself, Patricia.
Because it is ready.
Give it to yourself. Anyways, we have an amazing person again with us. And of course, we have Femi Chacha Emmanuel in the house. It's good to have you, Femi Chacha.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. And, I'm only bothered that this table is probably the combination of Chief Govt and Comrade, who we never see things from the same person.
Actually, to be honest, yes, I like that full view. To be honest, when the seating arrangement came, I really wanted Chief Govt to be at the extreme end and you in the middle, just in case if our voices are not able to and the table is not working, so you would help.
But it's a pleasure having great minds where you rub minds together.
Yes.
So we have the same goal, and seeing things from different perspectives actually enhances our level of focus and shows our level of maturity. Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Even though you ate your food alone this morning. I told you I was going to say something.
Anyway, let's talk about the first topic for today, and that's the Lagos State government who has actually refuted a viral video of a social media assertion that the city is plagued by foul smell and mosquitoes. Well, the State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, was reacting to a controversial podcast appearance by online personality Scott Iguma, who during the interview said Lagos is smelling. And if we know, this is not the first time people have actually come up to say this, and they said there's a lot of big mosquitoes in Lagos. Now, the remark quickly gained traction online, sparking widespread debate. Reacting via his official Twitter account, Wahab criticized what he described as a calculated attempt to discredit the state image. Now, the commissioner accused certain individuals of exploiting their online influence to push misleading narratives that align with diverse agendas and undermine the city's progress. He stated that the same people who left their state to seek greener pastures in Lagos have become the ones doing everything to disrepute the image of the state. He asked such people to focus their attention on other states as well. So let's quickly listen. This is about a 4-minute long video, but we might not be able to, listen to it all. But let's listen to this video and hear what the social media influencer actually said about Lagos. And of course, we'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Now, of course, he said a whole lot, but most of the point I want to pick is the fact where he said, the interviewer said, Lagos is like New York. And he said, don't ever do that and states that Lagos would be like New York because New York has more value than Lagos. That's one. And the second thing he also said is the fact where he talked about Lagos is smelling and has big mosquitoes. And of course, the third one I actually noted was the fact of people, developers who, you give money and all this for me looks like scam. But that's why I say that. How would you even think that person can be able to remit that kind of amount? It's a lot of things. And, talking about the housing, the amount people pay for a house, it's outrageous. Well, he went on and on, about that. So I'm going to start with you, Femi Chacha, actually.
Wow. I'm on a different side.
No, I will start with you.
Okay.
I want to start with you.
Okay.
What do you think about what he said? For a fact, obviously, even from the video, it didn't sit well with most of you when he said smelling and big mosquitoes.
No, really.
Okay, so
No, really. Is some part of Lagos smelling? Yes. Talking about what happens, my friend, and the commissioner for environment is a very good friend. On Saturday, we're still together on his birthday, 26th birthday. Now, Lagos, some parts of Lagos smells. It's not about arguing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's not the issue. Now the issue is we all have a collective responsibility to ensure that those things do not remain that way. I can tell you for free that it is we humans with some of our habits that worsen things. I think Nigerians generally we don't have a good maintenance culture. Mm-hmm. Let me give you a good instance. If you write, do not urinate here, people will stand there and begin to urinate. But write, urinate here and dump your destiny. Then, as soon as they see it, they move. They won't do that. So then there's another side to it. Even though most of the enforcement government tries to do is always in a very hard way, because government also feels like there is so much push of responsibilities at them, and it looks as if the citizens don't want to do anything, or residents, who be that as it may. I'll give you a good instance. One of our senior friends who own a big restaurant, it was on air throughout the weekend. The manager he hired for his big restaurant refused to pay Loma.
Yes.
But they found a way to always dispose because they don't want to pay. Mm-hmm. Now, how much? 12K monthly. But they were willing to bribe 100,000. Mm-hmm. Yes, they were willing to pay a bribe of 100,000. So now the truth is, I'm of the opinion that let's have more scapegoats. I love what they're doing at that Agege that place smells before. Yeah. Chief God, I don't know if you know the area I'm talking about.
Yes.
But you know what happens now? What these guys in blue, I think NSCDC or something, with big dogs. I still pass there today with big dogs from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. I'm looking for a way they will extend that, because once I'm coming back from work, sometimes when I do some things in Lagos and I'm coming back to that route, in the night you see people urinating again. But during the day, even people that want to sell, you can't see any soul in that area. Why? Because they see dogs, they see guns. I think those guys use guns. They see guns, they see dogs. They don't. So, but why can't we? There was a football match some years ago in the World Cup, and there was this country. I will name them Japan. They were the only ones that were always cleaning. I don't know if somebody can remember that. They were the only ones that were always cleaning their part of the stadium
where they stay. Yeah,
it's a culture
thing.
Yeah. It's a culture thing. But you see, it starts from me as the leader of my family. How am I helping my kids? If my kids come back from school, or me as a father, I throw my shoe, I throw my cloth, my kids will do the same. They will do it outside. So see, I feel we must see it as a culture thing as individuals. But does that excuse the government? No. But I think the area government is coming in its enforcement, and I'm scared that they're going to be a little more hard. I had to respond this morning on Twitter, and it said point blank that for every area they now have marshals, and that God willing from next month is going to be really hard. They're going to be really hard on enforcement. So good luck. However, lastly, I've talked about the role of the government. I've talked about the role of citizens and how we as individuals should our personal attitude contributes to all of these things. The last part I've not talked about is that institutions, the church, the mosque, schools, when each of us that run Galaxy institutions, when we begin to make it a practice, some people that can't do that at home, once they begin to comply at work, you will find that it will affect how they behave outside. So it's a three-way thing to collectively combat this issue.
This issue. Okay, well said. Chief Govt. Chief Govt, what's your thoughts? Do you agree with Iman, Femi Chacha, or just what the influencer said, or a different view?
Well, influencer is entitled to his own opinion. First and foremost, I want to ask the influencer, what are you doing in your little corner to help Lagos become the cleanest state in the world? What are you doing? All right. It's always very, people are always very quick to come and condemn. But when you ask them to provide solutions to that problem, they begin to forget. Now, I'm not saying Lagos is not smelling. Lagos is smelling. This is a city. There are some states in this country, when you put the population of Lagos into it, they will crash. Completely. They will not know. Even their governor will not know what to do.
Confused.
So, whatever Lagos is doing with its very small area of land, with so many people. In fact, apart from Bayelsa, Lagos is the second smallest state in Nigeria. So if you don't know, have that fact. And over 25 million people in this small mass, you are likely to get environmental issues. All right? Waste disposal is going to be an issue. I never saw erosion in my little state in Oron, in Akwa Ibom State, until I come to Lagos. I've never seen it. In fact, I lived in a place in 2011 on Pleasure. Who remember that very infamous flooding in the Yonokpaja that Taribanla place that collapsed. I was living on top of the hill there.
Wow.
And I saw it. So when people come and begin to speak as if they understand the issue of the place, first and foremost, before you speak about the place, you must understand the issue, the problem of that place. All right? Now, yes, he has spoken, but I also feel that the government people should take a cue from what he's saying. In fact, there was a time. Today we are saying Lagos is smelling. What also caused Ambode's election? One of the things, though, that also caused Ambode's election was as a result of the fact that the refuge we merged in Lagos.
Yes.
And Lagos was, everybody quit tweeting that Lagos is smelling. You go to the median of the road, you saw people parking. So it's not today that Lagos has smell. In fact, yes, today we actually have a cleaner, a better Lagos. In the past, if you pass through Ojota, you have to cover your nose until you go through, until you get to around Fadei.
Or there's like a particular place.
No, I'm coming. But today, I don't know. I rarely go to that area. But I'm talking about the key areas. Those were the dump site. Right? The dump site in Ojota. Today, that place is completely free of any contaminated smell. Because of what the Lagos State is doing. I mean, like I said, government is a continuum. Maybe when he finish, I will give him a chief title. Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has done a fantastic work in terms of waste disposal in Lagos. Yes, we are human beings. Like my good friend said, that if you write, don't urinate here, people will see good there. one thing is that people that go there can they read about what you are writing? Did you write it in the language that they can read?
So implementing.
So those are the things that we also need to also understand. All right. Now, before you used to say, if you need, you pay 60,000 naira. When you need in the past in Lagos, somebody came out and you give him 10,000 and he leaves you to go. So all those things, I think, we have to reintroduce those disposable, those toilets, movable toilets. There was a time during Babajide Fashola, he introduced it across Lagos State and people were using it. People were using it because we are not animals. You can't see. Even my small cat in the house, which my daughter named Calypso, he has a litter box. So when the cats feel like easing himself, he will go to the litter box. Because that's what we have taught the cats. So let alone human beings. So I believe that whenever somebody, whether you are an influencer, there was a lady that said the same thing before. Yeah. And a guy came out to say this. And he said it very proudly, which is a shame really. All right? It's a shame really. I would also want to know his own state, where it comes from, so that I can now juxtapose Lagos maintenance issues and his own state.
What if it's from your state?
That's what I'm saying. If it's from my state,
the neatest,
yes, he's neatest because he doesn't have the kind of population Lagos has.
Okay.
Do you understand? Listen, in Akwa we say you can move from people's backyard until you get to where you are going. In Lagos, you cannot.
No.
It's not done. All right. So at the end of the day, I feel like when people want to speak about this place, I'm not saying when it is true you shouldn't speak out. When all the things that you said, it didn't provide any solution. Maybe it's a cut mixtape.
Yeah.
All right. So it should have profiled the anchor of that show should have given the opportunity to okay, what do you think you can do? So that we can learn from it, not just about criticism.
Okay.
My thought.
All right. Thank you very much. Comrade, I'm going to ask this question then, of course, because Comrade has a special experience. I call it special experience because it's one of the reasons why he came into the studio.
That's why he's
So for me, I want to ask, do you actually believe that the government can put, how will I put it, a consideration to the amount of, the kind of outrageous amount people demand from, people who want accommodation, who wants to stay in a house, and you'll be hearing millions, because I don't think you can get any house below $1 million now in Lagos. If you get any good house, you understand? Yes. So that one alone, people are complaining about that is outrageous, because if you look at the economy and look at how much whereby salaries are not increased, transportation has increased. How can people pay that kind of amount for a house? And while you're at it, kindly share your experience too.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Mr. Femi and Chief Govt. In respect of the housing inflation in the housing sector in Lagos State, you see, we are not here. We don't need to deceive ourselves. You see, real estate business is a serious business. The government have not also been helping in terms of building materials. Okay. Look at the cost of buying a cement now. Look at the cost of buying a sharp sand and all the rest of it. So do they have price control over all these things? So when an estate developer is a businessman and he builds his house with over billions of naira, and you are now trying to make a law that the developer will not give the house out, to people at an outrageous rate or amount, and same time reducing, the rental, time for somebody to move into the house to 1 month, or you want to abolish 1 year rent. You are saying 1 month. Is that possible?
Because
it's not possible.
Also heard he has said
it's not possible.
Monthly.
Monthly payment for rent. We are landlords somewhere. We are tenants somewhere. I built my house and you are telling me that I should not collect more than 1 month rent. They are just going to create problem, to the masses of Nigeria. Being that as it is. How many housing estates have been built by successive Lagos State government? Aside the one that was built by Alhaji Lateef Jagban. It's an eyesore. Go to Abeson Estate. It's like a state or a local government on its own. You see the structures, you see the housing estate there. Go to other, estates that is built by Jack only. these are landmark achievements. Do you get it now? Not that Lagos State government is not trying in terms of housing and everything, but they have built theirs, but it is not enough. So before you can, put checks to house owners, you must have made alternative provisions for the citizens of, Lagos State. Now, the gentleman that said Lagos mess, I don't blame him. It depends on the area he lives. Do you get it now? The other copper lady that said it the other time, when you look at these people, I don't think they are not Lagosians, and moreover, they are not even born in Lagos. Do you get it now? Because if Lagos smells as it says, well, everything cannot be perfect in any state. But today I will tell you, Lagos is the most safest state in West Africa. Everybody is moving down to Lagos because it is safe. That's a smelly state. So they are after their security. They don't bother about how the state stinks. Do you get it now? So when you look at that, you see that some people will say something, but ordinarily, they don't really have a point. It is possible that gentleman is not even a taxpayer in Lagos. He doesn't pay his direct assessment tax in Lagos. Because before you can criticize any government, first and foremost, you must be a good citizen. And for you to be a good citizen, to pay your tax. So that by the time they call you, that criticize government, you tell them, I'm paying my tax, and you are not saying, corresponding, developmental or structures or environment or safe environment for the money you are paying. So you have to ask questions, you have to demand. So if you are not paying your tax, you cannot demand anything from the government. So let me just digress a little to the environment issue. Now, because I'm coming from the informal sector, and the informal sector contributes more than 70%, of the economic, activities of any state or in Nigeria in quotes. So environmental issues in Lagos, as I want to speak on, majorly comes from the market. Because that is my area. And if I say it comes from the market, let me tell you sincerely speaking that Honorable Tokunbo Wahab have identified some issues, that they are going to clear street trading, flood control and waste management. And the major waste that is being, that we use in this Lagos and some other states comes from the market. And when you look at all this market, most of those markets have been built, since a very long time. And now development has come around, to those markets. And when you look at it, they constitute nuisance to the immediate environment. But now, the problem is not the marketers themselves, but the leadership of that market. Femi mentioned about churches, how they coordinate their waste. He mentioned about like the Galaxy Television and so many organizations, you coordinate and do the needful about your waste. But now, the major problem now is not the marketers themselves. I will tell you, every market in Lagos State have a sanitation mechanism to control and to do proper waste management, to dispose their waste, in a very, sensible and very hygienic manner. They pay because they have market unions. They have market leaders. They pay money to these market leaders. But let me tell you that the problem is not from the traders in that market themselves, but the market union. Because they've turned that means to a conduit pipe to exploit those marketers. Now, the Loma PSP, these Loma trucks you see, they come to market every Thursday. You see markets having environmental. They invite Loma, the PSP operators, to come and dispose of their refuse and everything just once in a week. And they use refuse, they dump refuse every day. It is not enough. And when you look at the amount they collect from these traders, I've used my own market, Jankara, Odisubari International Market, as a case study. And because what is going on there now, you will see that for those that know, they know that they pay 1,000 naira per head. A market that you have over 5,000 people, you collect 1,000 naira from them, as on monthly basis, as Loma fee. And a Loma truck will be coming just in a week. And you pay that Loma truck 50,000 naira. You will pay that truck 50,000 naira. So the leadership of the market should be held responsible. Not only Jankara market, all other markets. The so-called Babalojas and Yalojas, that is what, it has been their trade in stock. for what they are doing to exploit, the marketers. And tomorrow, the government will come, they will come through enforcement to come and lock the market. Do you see let me just paint this scenario. The government will lock the market. So many markets have been locked in the past in Lagos State for contraventions and sanitation issues. But eventually, when the market is locked, it is the common traders in that market that will suffer it. After 2 weeks, the government will open the market. After the market authorities, the leadership will pay certain fee. Do you know that they will now pay the marketers themselves who have been doing the lifting, who have not defaulted in that monthly payment of refuse disposal? They will still tax them to come and pay that fine that has been collected from the government. Can you see that? So we want to call on Lagos State government to look inward that average marketers in Lagos, they comply with the rules and regulations in their market. The market authorities, the leadership in that market, collect a humongous amount of money for them for these services. Eventually, they will contravene and the government will seal up that market. So if, as we are speaking now, if we are going to take through at the level of the civil society organization, we're going to recommend to the government that when any market contravenes sanitation or environmental issues, the marketers should not be penalized. Rather, they should move straight to the leadership of that market. They should call them, arrest them, and prosecute them. Because you cannot deny citizens of their socio-economic rights on the basis of environmental.
So the unions that are in charge of this market, are they recognized by the government?
They are recognized under the Lagos State Market Welfare Board. Okay. They know them. The Yaloja, somebody will call himself Babaloja, controlling over market, 5 markets. And you will not be overseeing the affairs of the market to know the day-to-day activities of what is going on in that market. So eventually, if things now go round or wrong, it's an avenue for them to make more money. So at the detriment of the marketers.
I want to ask, to be clear on this, all the money collected from the traders in the market is usually given to the Yaloja or
the leadership of the market. Like I told you, I'm an insider into it. An average normal truck comes in a week to dispose of your thing, 50,000 naira. But the population of the market, individual, per head, even though you are 5 in the shop, you pay 1,000 naira for refuse disposal. So calculate 1,000 naira times 5,000 people. So ordinarily, PSP operators should be coming to the market at least twice or 4 times in a week.
Even
so that you can have a good, even every day. So that you can have a good, environment. The market I've mentioned has a Ojokoro housing estate behind it and the Millennium housing estate. So the market itself, the people in that estate have not been feeling comfortable. So the traders, they are law-abiding citizens, they are very disciplined, but the leadership of the market, the Babaloja in that market, in the Ojokoro, precisely. So I will give it to the chairman of that local LCDA, Honorable Amit Yanido. He has been doing his best. And I will tell you, in Ojokoro LCDA, Lagos, the development is, so to say, of the present governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu, His Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has not been felt in Ojokoro LCDA. And thank God to the present president, who, out of his own wisdom, created this local council development areas. Otherwise, so many local areas in Lagos State would have been, a very underdeveloped area. Because now, Ojokoro that I mentioned is under Alimosho local government. The former Alimosho local government, which was split into about 5 or 6 LCDs. You get it now. So it is those LCDs, they are trying with the possibility of funds that they get from the state, to develop their state, their local council development area. The last one that was started within the Ojokoro was done by Raji Fashola, the former governor of Lagos State. No state presence. The present governor of Lagos State have not done anything within that LCDA. Look at your Onigbongo here, the former chairman that died. He's a very good friend of mine. You get it now. Look at the tremendous job he did in Onigbongo. You understand? So please, let us call a spade as and not a family implement that ordinarily the state has a lot to do. And when it comes to market, we want to stop a situation where the state government will be closing market because of environmental or sanitation contraventions. The market leaders should be held accountable because they are getting money, they are making serious money, and they should be investigated. Thank you so very much.
Okay, all right. You said something, comrade, but I'm going to direct the question to Femi. Comrade said something. He said because of cost of building materials and all of that, erecting a building before, that is why they increase the rentage. But I will still say this. Now, it's not all houses that they are building. Some houses are already there. They are already built. and you find out that you might be in a house you pay 350 before or 450, and they will tell you, from next payment you'll be paying 1 million.
Let me call you back.
The increment will just come like that. And some people tell you from 450 you'll be paying 800, double or even triple the price sometimes. And we're going to say they had to review the house, even if you're renovating, right? Does that mean that you should be collecting such an outrageous amount? Is it that Lagos cannot really do anything?
Let me
about
come in
that?
there, Blossom, to add to your question. Most times they collect this huge amount of rent. You still have to
renovate do
the house yourself.
Yeah.
Do things yourself. Sometimes the taps are, the walls are cracked and all that. You do them yourself and you're still paying in millions. Just to add to our question.
It's a great question, and I would like to speak from both sides. Before, there was a time I used to think building a house was an investment. As in, when growing up, when you talk about assets, you talk about liabilities, but you see, I understand better right now. If you put up, let me not even say you putting up a structure. If you put up a structure right now, the smallest, let's remove land issue. The smallest you put up, let's just say probably 2-bedroom flats. You can't spend plus roofing plus everything. I'm speaking from there. You can't spend anything less than 30 million. Yes, you can't spend anything less than 30 million. Now, how much? Even if you charge 1 million naira. In 30 years.
That's what you get what you
No, I'm just being frank.
Okay.
In that 30 years, the level of depreciation that building will experience. The level of depreciation that building will experience. So, with that understanding, let's now look at it from the other side where there are people that they actually built when they were still working, and they are not looking up to that after they have retired or they are probably old. They are looking at that structure as a means of livelihood.
Yeah.
A means to take care of themselves. Because see, many years ago, when as a young man, you are happy to send something to your parents. But you see, most times in this generation, I doubt if young people, what they earn, their take-home cannot even take them home. So it's only parents that probably put things on ground to take care of themselves that are probably living long. Not even when apologies to you, our women, would have gone to the richest of the children in the name of
Omugo.
and leave the old man, Chief Govt.
Why are you calling Chief Govt? Are you leaving Chief Govt so soon?
I leave the old man. So most times the only thing they are banking on
is that their building.
That house.
Now, does that really mean that I needed to share that background so that you will now understand my conclusion. Does that really mean that the cost of rent should really be very high? The truth is that just like a medical doctor, they have preference for, it's not a regulated market.
Yeah.
They have preference for how they will charge rather, depending on how they size up the clients, whatever they are in need of at that moment. It's not, if it's a regulated market, which is difficult for government to do because how much of the stake in housing does government have control over? So government can only control and dictate when they have a major stake. Government does not have a major stake.
True.
Okay.
Government does not have a major stake. So going forward, I'm of the opinion that we are getting to that time that many people will be living in Ogun State and probably working in Lagos. Some people live in Mowe.
Of course, it's
Some people
happening.
live in Mowe.
It has been happening
in Ibafo.
since
But you see,
1908.
with more trains, with more train stations, especially how train is now moving to Abeokuta or your state. Even though those places too will now begin to increase their rent, but you will never compare it
to Lagos.
How can a mini flat be 1.5 million?
Femi.
I'm talking about a mini flat.
Of course,
And you know,
yeah.
honestly, in the passage, you have to first open the door completely before you can enter. You will now turn yourself.
We are even talking
Like a rubber
about
square.
1.5. Depends on the area. There are some areas that mini flats are 3 million.
Please, let us not debate. Let us give this subject matter the attention it deserves. Yes. You know, I didn't wait for Blossom to ask me questions because I've already gotten my point of view. First and foremost, Femi mentioned very critical points. All right. I'm of opinion that Ministry of Housing should be scrapped. I'm of opinion that Ministry of Water Resources should be scrapped.
Why?
Yeah. They are redundant. They don't do anything. They don't provide the thing that they're supposed to provide. They don't do. These are basic amenities. And when they say basic amenities, these are the things that government should ordinarily do for its citizens.
Why?
Why is it that Nigerians that migrated to UK, US don't have problem with housing? Okay, let the same person who is living in UK, who migrated from UK today, from Nigeria today to UK, who got a decent accommodation, let the same person come back to Nigeria today, whether he's going to get a decent accommodation in 1 month. It's a problem. Now, the primary purpose of housing is to provide a safe, secured, and stable environment for people to live. It's like water. There is no condition attached to clean, potable water. So if in a country, in a state, in a local government, citizens are unable to get a safe, secure, stable housing to live in, then the government have failed. They failed.
Okay. Well,
you can't have control over what you don't have.
Right.
All right? And that is why, in fact, the Lagos State landlords, they obey government so much so that when I came to Lagos in 1999, I used to be, in fact, people were collecting my first house that I collected. I paid 5 years. I built it. I paid 2 years first. They said the owner will build it. He came, he squandered the money. He asked me to come and pay 3 years more. My senior brother, who I was living with, said I would never. I said, no, let me pay. And until I left that place in 2021, I never paid house rent anymore.
Oh.
All right? But I'm not saying that is okay. I'm saying that because people spend money to build their houses, you don't have control over how much cement is sold.
Okay.
You don't have control over how much timber is sold. You don't have control over how much gravel, sand, iron. And you want to have control over all of this collective who make this place stand. How is that possible? The only control you have is the safety control for them to build a secure house. These are the standard. Beyond that, government had no hand in regulation of house rent.
Okay, let me read it. I have messages from our viewers. This one says, good afternoon, crew. There is a saying, prior proper preparation prevents poor performance. Lagos is smelling. Let the governor and his minister go do the case study. Can you compare him with Fashola or Ambode in their time? Remember the traffic lockdown in Lagos? Recently, this similar issue happened last year where Lagos was flooded and the governor was giving schoolboy excuse. That same rainfall exposed the governor this year, and he's still apologizing with the billions daily he's still apologizing with the billions daily generated in Lagos through taxes and and Agberu's collections. What is it used for? This will still happen next year. Lagos doesn't have low-cost housing for masses, no pipe-borne water, open defecation, no public toilet. It's a shame the worst of us is really the best of us. Truly, there was a country, Nigeria. Okay, so I have another one. This one says, good morning. During Governor Fashola PSP used to come to our street twice a week. Lagos was better. Hold on. Okay. Lagos was better and okay, this is quite a long read. Lagos was better. On the issue of house rent, Governor Fashola equally reduced rent from 2 years to 1 year. Then they said it would not work, but we are enjoying it now. Please, Governor Jide should apply some of Fashola's policy. When there is a will, there is a way. He also, okay, I think it's the same thing. There is a way. So this is Williams from Shasha. Thank you very much.
I just want to tip in some.
Yeah.
You see, charity must always begin at home. You cannot go outside, get fat, and want to come into a tiny door created for you when you were going out. Now, this is what Lagos State is doing that is not working. Lagos State is busy building what they call low-cost housing estates, which are sold exorbitantly to people.
Yes, true. I agree with
All
you.
right? So, and now you are doing that, and the people who bought this property, they know the people that can buy those property are the people that cannot live there. Do you understand? These properties are over 50 million, 40 million, 50 million, 60 million, depending on the area, like the one at Oba. All right? So, and you do that. What you're supposed to do, what Jakonde was doing, that he was building this and giving it to civil servants who cannot afford these big rents in big places to live. And they make them to pay gradually
From their,
Yeah.
and in a very subsidized rate. So what happened? Why is our government has become so capital intensive as if they are competing with Dangote? Why are they doing that? Why are they behaving as if they are competing with $5 $10? They are not. The government is not for profit. It's for service.
Yeah. It's for okay. Finally,
The
to wrap
welfare
up.
of
Yeah.
the people should be the most paramount
Yeah.
responsibility, of any good government. A government that is not putting welfareism in its policy and programs is just the enemy of the people. So the first thing and most important thing they should put in place is to look at how citizens will live a better life. So government has no business in housing. They don't have no business in housing. When your own house is not even low, when you call it low-cost housing, it's not low. You get it now. So how do you now dictate for somebody who has gone to get a mortgage to build his house and you want to regulate that person? Some people who are pensioners collect their pensions and gratuity. They invested it in house. They built maybe a 2-bedroom flat for themselves, another 2 and 3-bedroom flat for themselves, and you are asking them that they should not let it out, more than what you think. So you want the man just to die and not to eat his plate of his neighbor. So government has no house. We are not running a socialist. That's why socialist government, system of governance is very, very good. You understand? All these things you are pursuing house, I want to buy car and everything. It's a socialist system. Everything belongs to the government. Do you get it now? That is why corruption is so, endemic in our African system. You get it now? Because you want to steal to build house, you want to steal to buy car, you want to steal to do this and everything. But if it's a socialist system, it's put in place, but I know one day, the kind of revolution we have, we change the narrative.
Okay, all right. Let me Chacha, to wrap up the program, actually, I just want you to say something about our president going to visit the Pope, the new Pope.
He didn't go to visit. He was invited. Let's put it in perspective. For president across the world were invited. When he was also invited, when the former Pope passed, but he deemed it fit to send Akpabio.
Who is a Catholic?
Who is I don't know whether he's a Catholic. I've not seen him in church for how long. So I don't because somebody is my brother. I should say what he is not. I have not seen him in church for a long time. Maybe people are
go to the same church.
Wait now. In Vatican, Fayemi and Obi told president, "Welcome to our church." And I can never remember the last time Fayemi was in church. Because those people, when they go to church,
but like some ask you, do you go to the same parish?
It's not the same parish. I know the lifestyle of these people. When they go to church, they put it in the paper. When they go to church, they put it in the...
I get your point.
Yes, now, when they go to church, they put it on the social media. Their social media managers are there to showcase whatever they are going to. So that, listen, there's nothing a Nigerian politician... There's nothing a Nigerian politician would do that will not see it on social media or in the paper. So I don't need to go to their churches to know when they are going. All right? So we know that they go to church for photo speaks. So what I'm saying in essence is that it was a very good optics yesterday. For the first time I saw Mr. City Boy has always been that's not his first time in suit. I saw him with which make a very good sense for our political history and what we are saying, and for the supporters of these people to know that, look, if you kill yourself, you are killing yourself for nothing. So when these people meet, they will laugh and cheers over a lot of things. If there was wine there, they would have toasted to it. So to see Peter Obi, the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, with the president. It was a very fantastic optic. It's just like what happened between Trump and the Ukraine president when the former Pope passed, when they had that meeting in the front. That was exactly what happened. It's symbolic, and I'm happy about it, and I thank God that happened in the house of God.
But his son was there too. You saw the son speak.
Okay, this one is from Ozi Shwai.
So if I'm going to a place, my son will go with me.
He says many people depend on the hello, please, Patricia. Many people depend on the rent collected from tenants when their pensions are not paid regularly. Well, that's what Comrade was actually.
I know government is not asking the landlord not to collect rent anymore. Any day. Anyway.
Okay, to wrap up the show, I've been saying this like 3 times now. Let's just pick one call. Okay, it dropped already, so I guess no call. Anyways, this one says the house issue. May God help us. This is Abdullah from Olowo Logo, right? Okay, so another one says okay, there's a call. I don't think I can pick the call. Good afternoon, boss. Please let Lagos State bring back our Wole. What's Wole?
Wole, sanitation officers.
Oh, okay.
They are sanitation officers.
Okay, Wole.
Yes.
Oh, their houses.
They are still there.
Right? There are houses you can't step into because of dirt. Ministry of Housing should come up with policies or put conditions in place to regulate how houses should be rented. Most of these landlords are just being unnecessarily greedy. This is Olajumoke from Dokwemu. Anyways, let's pick this call and wrap up. Our time is up. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Matt.
Realize that their heritage may be responsible of their people. But now, when you call I, if they don't shout out I, how are they going to meet up with the feelings and their children cooking? That is how everything complicates with each other.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. I think we're still saying the same thing. Like, if the house rent is not increased, how would they feed and pay the necessary things they need to pay through in life? Trust me, Lagos is pretty even expensive to even live in, rather than villages. Anyways, we've come to the end of the program. I'm super excited that we're able to take messages and a call at least. So I will say, Femi Chacha, thank you so much for being on the show. You see, there is no table breaking. That was because we didn't talk about the other topics, just this housing thing.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, Chief Godi, for stepping in, even though you go to the same church with Fabio. Well,
I don't go to church. I serve God. I've always said that. I've always said it on this table.
Yes,
I serve God, believe in God, and I don't go to church.
Thank you for coming on the show. It's been amazing, Patricia. And wrapping up the show, so the Yanko will already say thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Same time tomorrow.
Yes, you have a beautiful day. Bye for now.